Hi, have a nice lunch. So we want to talk about who won last night's debate. Well, it's simple. Mitt Romney won it. He absolutely secured his position as a blown-away frontrunner in this race. When he was under sharp attack by Perry about that low blow about illegal immigrants on his property, and he answered that it was a lawn company and he didn't know who they were hiring, and he told them not to, and then when they continued to hire illegals, he canceled the contract with them. I thought that was a complete answer. And then Perry kept insisting at it, kept pushing it. And Perry looked absolutely terrible in that exchange. He looked like just some caricature of Richard Nixon at his worst. It was really terrible. And Santorum looked like a prosecutor, and when he was trying to outshout Romney, and Romney handled both of them like he was the adult in the room. It was almost like a school teacher telling the students to raise their hand before they talked. It was terrific. And I thought Romney makes the good point about his being a businessman who's created jobs. I think he just did a fabulous job in that, and his answers on Romneycare were convincing. On the one hand, he praises what went on in Massachusetts, and on the other hand, he dumps what Obama's done in the United States. And I thought Gingrich's comment distinguishing Romneycare from Obamacare ratified Romney's position and was very helpful to Romney's candidacy. So I think Romney's the big winner. The other person who I thought did really well was Bachmann. Some of that early pizzazz, that early charisma, that early sort of Sarah Palin-ish comeback was there. The enthusiasm was there. And she's making really the case that she's the one that can repeal Obamacare, that knows all about it. And I thought she did a fantastic job. The question mark from this debate was Kaine. There are times when he did very well, but now there are two big questions out there that need to be answered. The first is your 9% sales tax an add-on to the existing sales taxes states have? In tomorrow's lunch video, I'm going to explore that in some depth. The quick answer is no, it's not, because the 9% federal tax replaces a federal income tax. But he didn't say that. He just said apples and oranges, and that question is sitting out there. And then there was that other statement that I don't know where he gets off saying it, that he would consider releasing the inmates in Guantanamo? I mean, that's like opening death row in every prison in the United States. Rumsfeld called those guys the worst of the worst. They're the 250 most hardened terrorists we have, and we should never release them, no matter what. We shouldn't even think about it or talk about it. So I want Herman to explain that. I'm sure he has a good explanation, and I'm sure he was misinterpreted. Otherwise, he continues to be his charismatic, well-put-together self, giving really good answers. But he has got to answer that question about 999, because his whole candidacy is wrapped up in that proposal. And if it comes across as an added sales tax as opposed to a replacement for the income tax, he's going to get badly hurt with that. He has to have a much better answer. It doesn't do just to say, go to my website. All the answers are there. He's got to answer it himself and summarize it properly. The big loser in this debate was Rick Perry. When he pushed that personal attack against Romney, you know, I always feel that rebuttal advertising is the most effective thing you can do in a campaign. Because negatives, you're kind of digging through the record and coming up with something from the past, and maybe it's true or maybe it didn't. But when you catch an opponent making a low blow in front of everybody sees it, and you explain the anatomy of the low blow, and then you come back at him, well, then you really have caught him. And then when the idiot does it again, you absolutely have him. So everybody saw the distortion. Everybody saw what Perry did in the distortion, and then they saw him repeat it. I thought that Ron Paul had good moments, but then ultimately he comes across as the absolute nut that he is. When he literally says that the people in Guantanamo are suspects, not terrorists. They haven't been convicted of anything. They're just suspects. I mean, go soak your head, Mr. Paul. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I thought that Santorum came across as a quarrelsome, annoying person. I don't think that he helped himself at all in this debate. I thought that Newt missed many opportunities to really score. He just has to summon that same aggressiveness in pushing his own proposals that he uses in calling the Deficit Commission stupid. It is stupid, but he's got to come across with his own stuff, and simply referencing that on my website I have a plan to save America and, a huge 21st century agenda. That doesn't do anything. He's got to explain it. He's got to reduce it to bite-sized elements and deploy it to win the debate. Of course, the all-time loser of this debate was the stupidest one, Huntsman, who didn't show up. He's busy protesting that New Hampshire is in jeopardy of losing its first-in-the-nation primary status. Just overt pandering. So I think Romney won, and I hope Kaine has a comeback. Thanks. Let's talk about Kaine's 999 tomorrow.